This is our topic for today. What I read is not what I saw. How many of you have this kind of feeling? I think based on the law of karma, we always say, you will receive what you harvest. Or in the Christian term, you call it, you reap what you sow. But sometimes it's not a case. So I thought about chapter 58, and I thought this will be a cool chapter to talk about, and it's something that we can relate in our life. So let's begin with chapter 58. Can anybody help to read chapter 58 from my translation? Thank you.
I will.
Thank you, Robert.
Chapter 58. When the government is dull, the people are simple and genuine. When the government is scrutinizing, the people are deficient and deceptive. Misfortune is what fortune leans on. Fortune is what misfortune hides beneath. Who knows the ultimate reason? There is no permanent outcome. The normal reverts to the abnormal. Goodness reverts to wickedness. Humans have been addicted to their ignorance for a long time. Therefore, the sage has high standards but doesn't cut others, is incorruptible but doesn't injure, is upright but doesn't overreach, shines but doesn't dazzle.
Thank you, Robert. And this chapter, I want to give the credit to Robert because he helped me to edit the translation to make it more smooth. Now let's go into chapter 58. So before we begin, one thing I want to point out to you is that on the first two lines, you can see that this two character here, this is being repeated 2 times. And this is also being repeat 2 times. So what does this word mean? Dull. But it's not just dull, it's double dull. That means Lao Tzu wants to emphasize the word dull, but he just, the best way to put it is to put dull twice. So that's why we see qi zheng men men. So this government is not just dull, it's very quiet, does not do anything at all. It allows the people to do whatever they want to do. In other words, they allow people to have that freedom. Okay, so the character here, dull, it's not enough to fulfill the translation. Therefore, I have to explain that it's more than dull, right? Simplicity, pessimistic. Somebody the government allow people with extra freedom, and the second one is 纯纯. People are very simple. Again, here is being used double 2 times. So people are very simple, and what happens when people are simple? They are honest, simple, and unsophisticated. In other words, they follow their true nature. So in terms of our cultivation, if government is dull, the government official or the official, there's the mayor, anyway, the official, if they operate in the government with less ego, they don't want to fulfill their own desire, what happened to the people? People will become simple. And this is a great example on Wu Wei. And the second line, when the government is scrutinizing, the people are deficient. So scrutinizing here, again, it's being repeated 2 times. qi zheng cha cha. So it means the government is watching very, very closely with the microscope. Here I have on a term to elaborate on this character here, cha cha. It means to examine, investigate, scrutinize, clever, and articulate. And the second part is the people are deficient and deceptive. Deficient in what way? deficiency in their virtue and their character. So in other words, they are lack of their integrity. They are dishonest because they are in a defensive mode. And in order to get around from the government, they have to be clever, right? So that they have to be clever in order to make a living. They have to be clever in order not to be caught. In other words, they become hypocrite and they become insincere. Next one. Misfortune is what fortune links on. Fortune is what misfortune hides beneath. So I have this diagram here, which I think you all understand. So here, I don't have the black dot right here and the white dot right here because it will be kind of confusing, but you understand the meaning here. So in the white part, which signifies it's the fortune, but within the fortune, there will be misfortune. How so? Because sometimes when we are fortunate, we are in the top of our career, in the most happy moment in our lifetime. And sometimes when we are in that position, we forget who we are and we start to do wild things. Isn't this what happened when the young people go to party? They go to party, they have a great time and they get high. And then all the stupid things that they can do happen on that night. So here I have a few notes here. When one intentionally pursue one thing, another unexpected thing might come along. And that's because the white part it's already at its full, and the black part is start to show. And that black part is the misfortune. And the second one here, when young rise, when the young rises, the yin diminish. And when the yin increase, the young decrease. So we understand this concept very well. Okay, fortune will not last forever. We all know that our youth, our career will not always at its peak. But sometimes we have to know that some of us will have our bad moment. I mean, we all been through a bad moment, and sometimes we ask God, my God, why this happened to me? Why am I so low? And it seems like the clock stopped ticking. And it seems like you are there forever. But here's the good thing. Based on the law of the yin and yang, you will not stay in darkness forever. Eventually, you are going to get out, right? You are going to get out. So likewise, the misfortune is eventually will follow by fortune. See? So based on this verse here, it echoes with chapter 2. So it's the same logic. Ugliness followed by beauty, and beauty reciprocate ugliness. Same thing for evil and good, existence and non-existence, easy and difficult, long and short. Let me just give you an example on the long and the short. So the long it's made up of a different section of shortness, right? And so long is not really absolute. It's everything is based on comparison. So when we say something is short, it's not really short. It can be long for compared to others too. So if I say I'm young and you are old, but when I compare to my kids, I become old and they become young. But eventually when they have their own offspring, the same thing will apply too. So everything will reciprocate, nothing will stay still. Let's read the next one. Who knows the ultimate reason? There is no permanent outcome. So this ultimate, it's this word here, 即. So it's really hard to translate this because that's why if you look at other translation, there's a different words to describe this. But what Lao Tzu means is that who knows the ultimate blank. he could mean that the ultimate reason behind this, the ultimate philosophy, the ultimate logic, the ultimate concept. So whatever noun you want to put it be after ultimate, but ultimately Lao Tzu is just describing something ultimate. Who knows the ultimate truth? So we can paraphrase this verse as no one knows when the fortune will end eventually. No one knows when the misfortune will come. All the phenomenon is impermanent. Nothing is absolute. So this is the paraphrase for this line here, but you see it's kind of long. But
you could also say, who knows what the future will bring? Also, something like that.
That's right, but Lao Tzu did not. I see what you mean. I see what you mean. This is called paraphrasing, but in Lao Tzu's translation, he say, "Who knows the ultimate future, ultimate prospect?" Right? Okay. Thank you, Robert. So let's look at this section here. Why are fortune and misfortune impermanent? Because when we are in the fortune time, sometimes we become boastful, then the misfortune will come. In Chinese, there's a saying, if you have a mishap, that mishap will always be accompanied by another mishap. You know why? Because imagine I have bad luck. So how do I feel? People will start to say, my God, why did this happen to me? Why? And then I start to condemn God. Some people are like that. Why does God want to do that to me? God start to abandon me. Why? What did I do to deserve this? Now you put yourself in the negative thinking, in a lower frequency. And what happens when you put yourself in a lower frequency? You are like a magnet. You also attract negative people in your life too. You attract negative things. So it's like a magnet. Our energy is, our thought is like an energy. It will attract. If you have good thought, it will attract good energy. If you have negative thought, you attract bad energy. The bad people come around you. Therefore, in Chinese, we have a saying, if you have a mishap, most likely you will be accompanied by another mishap, or maybe the third one or the fourth one. So when the first one happened, we have to watch out our thought, make sure we don't go to the wrong thinking. The normal reverse to abnormal. Goodness reverse to weakness. This one we can pretty much understanding this concept based on the picture here. It's just like same as the picture as the fortune and misfortune. So here's my paraphrasing. After a period of normality, abnormal will rise. The goodness and the weakness will come and intercept each other endlessly. So just like what Robert is mentioning, we try to get away from the duality. We try to stay in the middle. Or even we try to stay before the duality rise. This is the ultimate solution. However, because human come with emotion, this is where we come from. We comes with our false self. We comes with our body bag. Therefore, it's very easy to fall into the duality. Therefore, Lao Tzu wants us to focus, to do not be distracted by the duality. So here I have a note here. When one follows Tao, one does not lean on the normal, abnormal, good nor the wicked. One focuses on the inner self, the law of nature. One will not drift in the rise and the fall of duality. So basically, we want to focus in our true self, because if we are focusing on the duality everything that we pursue, it becomes like pursuing the moving target. Say when I'm younger, I want to get a good grade in chemistry. And then later I want to get a good grade in biology. And then later on, I want to go to a good school, a good university, say UC Riverside. And then after that, after I fulfill my dream, then I start to look for a good job. You see, that target is constantly moving as I age. So then after that, I start to look for a good boyfriend, right? That can match me. And then after if I get married with my boyfriend, then we start to look for clothing for the kids, and then when the kids are born, then we have the things goes on and on and on. And on. So our life is constantly going for the moving target, and you see how unstable is our mind. Therefore, the ultimate goal for our cultivation is to focus on our inner self, and that is our Tao, our true self. Humans have been addicted to their ignorance for a long time. So this ignorance, I want to talk about this one. This one, what Lao Tzu meant is somebody is lost. Human have been lost. This one can also be translated as human have been lost for a long time. Lost in the puzzle, or lost on the journey of the path, physical path or spiritual path, it doesn't matter. So we are lost. So because we are lost, we no longer have that wisdom in front of us. The wisdom, the wisdom is inside of our mind, but it's being covered. Our true self comes with perfection. It's not deficient in any way. It's perfect. It's sufficient. It's sufficient for us to provide us what we need on a daily basis. It can provide us the wisdom. However, if we are lost, if our true self is being captured or hold hostage by the false self, of course, our true self will not reveal its wisdom. Therefore, we lost connection to ourselves, right? So each life, when we are born, we accumulate negative emotion, right? The negative karma. Some people are more doomed. Some people are more blue. Have you ever seen this kind of people? They are just blue in certain way. They are not optimistic. And you say, why are you like this? And they say, well, this is the way I am. So they are addicted to their emotion. And of course, there's a sensation, their perception. So our perception is based on our past. Some people like to dwell in their past. Say, in the past, maybe I have a glorious past. Or we all have a glorious past. At our younger time, we look young and beautiful and handsome and flawless, right? But now we all look a little older. So we can dwell in our past too. So a lot of people get lost in this. Okay, so our conscience are covered by layer of scum and debris. In other words, we are covered by our karma, our false self, our monkey mind, all this. So this is the fun part that I want to talk to you about. Therefore, the sage has high standard, but does not cut. So high standard meaning that the sage, they set a very high standard because they have a high level of benchmark for themselves. But do they use that benchmark on other people? You know that in the Chinese time, ancient Chinese time, they have this kind of coin. I think they are so brilliant. This coin just apply to this one, just right on the target. So the square is in the middle, but outside is rounded. The square in the middle does not cut. So the square is symbolized somebody can discipline that person, discipline himself, being mindfulness and constantly repent. But this sage does not use that benchmark to reinforce other people. If I always come to my appointment, if I always come to the temple at 10 o'clock in the morning, do I have to demand everybody to come at 10 o'clock in the morning? If I do, that means I have a square and that square is going to cut. Why do you come late? Robert, why did you show up late? And this and that. I can use all kind of things to cut, right? So cutting is to, instead of the cutting is supposed to discipline ourselves, but here Lao Tzu say the sage does only discipline himself, but does not discipline other people. And in terms of the circle, we can relate that as forgiving, lenient, and understanding. So the sage treat himself very disciplinedly, but for treating other people, he's forgiving. He's rounded. It's very soft. He does not hurt others. So here it talks about the sage is incorruptible because everything related to the earlier slide. The sage has a benchmark. He disciplined himself very much. He's incorruptible. He's upright. He shines. But he does not use that sharp coin, sharp angle, or sharp corner to injure others. He does not embarrass others. He does not slander others. He never say, I did this. Why can't you follow me? What's wrong with you? Why can't you follow me? And it's upright, but it does not overreach. Here, it does not overreach. It means that it does not indulge in his pride, excessive indulgence. Because we can do, in our cultivation, we can do it so well, and we think that we are the ascended sage. Have you ever heard somebody say that? I heard that, I mean, I see that on the social media a lot. So-and-so say that they cultivate so well, they think they can become a Buddha. So-and-so that they think they cultivate well. They name themselves Joanna Bodhisattva, Joanna Buddha. Let's just say, for example, I seen people do that on news, and then they host some kind of a sangha, and they charge people money. So I'm not here to criticize people, but here I just want to give you an example. Oh, thank you, Jerry. I see your note. Coins are $50 for $8 on Amazon. What is 50?
That's fairly cheap then, Jerry.
You can get 50 coins. The picture looked like yours. 50 for $8.
Okay. Okay, so I didn't make a fortune on that. I guess I can.
I'm guessing maybe like a penny.
You only have one, so it's less than $1. Thank
But
you,
maybe
Jerry.
yours are special.
Oh my God, Jerry, how do you know this thing? What is the coin called?
It says Feng Shui I-Ching coins.
Oh, Feng Shui I-Ching coin. Got it. Thank you, Jerry. Okay, so the third one is shine but it's not dazzle. Can you imagine there is have you ever looked at a light bulb that it's so strong and then you say, well, that's too bright. So we as the cultivator, say if we are all ascendant sages, our light is supposed to be gentle. It's not supposed to hurt people's eyes. So you see, Lao Tzu give a perfect example. I mean, he gave a perfect explanation. What is being a square but does not cut others. He does not want to injure, although he's incorruptible, he's upright, but does not overindulgence. And he's shy, but he does not dazzle. Dazzle, it can mean that bragging about it. I'm so good. So now let's go back to our chapter title here. What I read is not what I saw. So a lot of time when we think about this, it really doesn't make sense. I put so much hard work, but what I receive, it's not what I saw. Why is that? Here I have a great example. So I help him in the present time, and this is past, this is present, and this is future. So in the past, in the present, so say last month I help him, but he stabbed me. Does that make sense? So he hurt me. Why does he want to hurt me? I help him. So I'm not going to help the other people again. I'm not going to help this particular person. Sometimes we do that a lot, right? But here is what I want to explain to you. If we would look at it from a higher perspective, in a global perspective, if we can remove the time factor, you will be able to sort it out. And that's because in the past, I scolded somebody. You see this green matched to the green here. I scolded somebody and he stabbed me. Green matched to green. And here's the light blue. I help him. And in the future, someone is going to help me. So then you say, wait a minute. So the law of karma is when you help somebody, it's like a boomerang. When you shoot it out, it's going to come back. But when you shoot out that boomerang to somebody, that boomerang does not need to come from that exact same person. It can come from somebody else. Therefore, the subject and the recipient can be different. You see? So that's why you help this person, but this person might not even come to say thank you to you, but then you will receive that thank you from other people. Remember, when you do the boomerang to other people, that might not be the same person who received your boomerang. You will receive it from somebody else. So here's another example. In the work environment, he told a lie, but he got this $80,000 project. Life is not fair. It's not fair. I work so hard and I don't get anything. And I get laid off. So how so? Because this person in the past, he donated money to the temple or to some kind of charity organization. Therefore, he got an $80,000 project. So this one happened in life a lot. Life is not fair. Sometimes on the news, we say that, oh, this person committed a crime. Or sometimes we see that some victim got hurt and then the murderer got away with it. Or this person is a scammer and he become rich. But because we don't have that global perspective, we can only see the timeline of the present time. We don't know what is the past. We don't know what is the future. Therefore, we do not know the consequence. Which one goes first? Which one go later, right? So going back to the chapter, I help him. So I will say that if you help somebody, that's great because you are in a fight part. And he told a lie. It's also great too because it's he telling a lie not me, but he's in the black part. But it is what it is. We just have to make sure that we cultivate well, stay in the white, because we can help this person because we are in the upper hand. We are capable of helping. Do not be boastful, because when we are boastful, we move to the black dot. And also, I want to remind all of us here, because we don't have, we are just a small individual. We have our small universe. And our every moment, I look at every incident as this yin and yang circle here. Eventually, the white will reciprocate the black will reciprocate the white. And we cannot judge based on the time, because we are only here 100 years. If we are here for 1 million years, probably we can make that judgment, right? The thing is, we are only a little part of the every incident in our life. It's this yin and yang here. So if I say this is my life is full of this little circle here. Now let's look at a global perspective. Maybe I'm the little circle here, and then Mark is right here, and somebody's right here. So there's a huge universe that governs the law, and the law, we call it the Tao. So the law of universe, it has the Tao to govern it. And we are just part of it. We are a little tiny part of it. So try not to judge. What I read is not what I saw. And the reason we think about this is because we do not have the time perspective. But if we can remove the time, if we can look at everything on the timeline, then we will understand. Unfortunately, we just don't have that ability to look at the timeline. So let's not be a judge, and it's important to learn from our coin here. We want to be shine, but we don't want to dazzle. We are incorruptible, and we don't want to injure others. We want to be upright, but we don't want to overreach. And I hope that today we can learn something from chapter 58. And that will conclude my sharing on this chapter here. If mistakes were made or said during today's sharing, I ask the forgiveness from the Heavenly Mother, Buddha Maitreya, Jigong Buddha, Patriarch, Sutun Simu, Grand Master, and Senior Master Li and Junior Master Li. Thank you so much.